Discover the incredible love story, how a scorned Duke chose an unexpected heart over beauty. In the quaint town of Maplewood, Duke Thompson felt suffocated by the weight of privilege. At 28, he was expected to be the perfect heir, marrying a perfect high society beauty. Yet, despite the opulence surrounding him, the grand estate felt more like a gilded cage. Duke yearned for authenticity in a world that thrived on polished facades. As a charity fundraiser for local veterans unfurled one bright Saturday, Duke found himself trapped under the eager eyes of his family and friends. The laughter and chatter blurred into a drone, a reminder of the obligations that weighed heavily on his heart. Then, he noticed her Lily, a waitress with dirt-smudged hands and an even dirtier apron, serving with a heartfelt smile that lit up her entire face. When their eyes locked, electricity surged between them, a connection that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. In that moment, Duke was struck by an irresistible curiosity. Lily was everything he'd been told to avoid, raw, unrefined, and real. While others discussed couture dresses and interests in charity gala balls, she spoke of the struggles of her family's farm, her voice infused with passion and strength. Every word was a revelation that pulled Duke in deeper. This was a woman forged by hardship, one who carried her burdens with grace. "Wow, you really care about this community," Duke said, his heart racing. She laughed softly. "What's not to care about? People here work hard for one another." It felt like the first breath of fresh air after being long submerged underwater. As their friendship blossomed, whispers around town grew louder. Duke's family grew more insistent that he pursue a union proper of his stature. Yet with each stolen moment with Lily, the vibrant spark between them ignited into something much more profound than mere attraction. She challenged him to reevaluate everything he believed about love and beauty. One afternoon, during a break in the bustling fundraiser, Duke felt a surge of emotions he couldn't quite understand. Should he let Lily go? It would ease family tensions. He looked around at the facade of high society and felt sick. The laughter and prim perfection suffocated him, reminding him of the expectations that often drowned out genuine joy. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The excitement of the carnival that evening burrowed deep into his heart. As he scanned the crowd, momentarily lost, he found himself drawn to the way Lily moved, effortlessly, almost as if the world around her melted away. The judgmental looks from the uptown elite stung his skin like 1,000 needles. Their expectations cast deep shadows across his heart. Then, as music flowed through the air, Duke finally understood. He stood at a crossroads. He could choose the path of duty, or he could leap into the unpredictable unknown of love. With every ounce of courage gathered, he took a deep breath, eyes fixated on Lily's radiant spirit cutting through the crowd. Could he summon the strength to redefine beauty and embrace this love that burned brighter than the expectations set upon him? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden hues over everything he held dear, Duke knew he was on the edge of something monumental. Time stood still, and as certainty gripped him, he prepared for a decision that could shift the very fabric of his life. Would he choose love? Duke's heart raced as he locked eyes with Lily, found in the bustling crowd. It felt as though the world faded away, the music and chatter dimming into a distant hum. The decision loomed before him, heavy yet liberating. He stood there, adrenaline coursing through his veins, each pulse echoing the thought, choose love. With newfound resolve, he weaved through the crowd until he reached her. Lily laughed, her voice a melody that resonated in the gaps of his soul, making everything around him seem dim by comparison. "Hey, I was looking for you," she said, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear, her usual carefree charm glowing as warmly as the setting sun. Duke smiled, a genuine smile that felt foreign on his lips. "Can we talk?" Sure. She replied, her enthusiasm contagious. He gestured away from the throngs of guests, guiding her towards a quieter spot by the carnival game's colorful lights reflecting off her face, making her look almost ethereal. Duke, is everything okay? Lily's eyes searched his, concern nestled within the brightness. This was it. This was the moment. I need to tell you something. About how I feel. His voice cracked slightly, a mixture of nerves and determination. Okay, she prompted, leaning in closer, a gentle encouragement. I've never connected with anyone like this before, he confessed, vulnerability slipping into his words. It's like you see me for who I truly am, not the Duke, but just me. Her expression softened, her smile fading for just a moment as she processed his words. You deserve to be yourself, Duke. But what? He leaned in, desperate to chase away the uncertainty that clouded her gaze. But this can't happen. Those words felt like a punch to his gut, leaving him breathless. Why not? There are things in our lives, the world we come from, it's complicated. She turned her head slightly away, as if afraid to meet his eyes. An ache settled in Duke's chest. It wasn't just her hesitance, it was the fear of what he was forsaking, the life he was consciously walking away from. Lily, I don't care about that. You're real. You're honest. That's what I've yearned for. He reached for her hand, feeling the warmth of her skin wound around his fingers. But what about your family? What about everything you've worked for? She countered, her voice quivering, a hint of panic breaking through. This is what matters. His voice was louder than he intended, drawing a few curious looks from passers-by. If I lose you, I lose everything I've found. I don't want that. Lily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, a mix of emotions swirling within. I don't know if I can fit into your world, Duke. You have your duties, your legacy. No. He made a decision right then, a fierce rejection of the life mapped out for him by others. I refuse to let a legacy bind me. I want this, us, whatever this beautiful chaos is. Her breath caught in her throat, but fear still clouded the hopeful look in her eyes. But what will others say? I don't care. I refuse to be a puppet anymore. The energy between them shifted, a fragile bubble filled with both excitement and trepidation. As the last remnants of daylight dipped below the horizon, the cotton candy colors blended into a deep twilight blue, shadows creeping in like the doubts lingering in Lily's mind. Can you truly mean that, Duke? She whispered, the weight of her words lingering as anticipation filled the air. Every word. But before she could respond, a figure loomed in the distance, sharp and demanding, a reminder of everything that held Duke captive. His mother, Lady Thompson, was making her way through the carnival, her gaze locked onto him like a hawk zeroing in on its prey. Lily, Duke started, anxiety flooding his heart. What would he do? How could he bring Lily into the life he was expected to lead? In that moment, everything hung in the balance. His future was unraveling before him, and suddenly, the choice became not just about love, but defiance as well. Would it be enough to break free from tradition? Would Lily join him in this rebellion against expectations? As his mother drew closer, Duke could feel the weight of his choice pressing down on him. Would he have the courage to stand for his heart, risking it all in the pursuit of true happiness? The night was thick with unspoken words. The pull between duty and desire coiled tightly around Duke and Lily. Just as he prepared to take the leap, the unseen hand of fate decided it was time to intervene. What would that intervention mean for their love? Duke's heart thudded like a drum as he recognized the approach of his mother. She was a force of nature, all composure and authority, and he knew better than anyone how her presence suffocated freedom. He glanced at Lily, her expression a tapestry of worry and hope, and felt a surge of resolve. Stay right here, he urged, already moving to intercept his mother. I'll handle this. His voice had a steadiness that surprised even him. Lady Thompson advanced, her heels clicking sharply against the pavement, each step punctuating the dread tightening in Duke's chest. "Duke," she said, her tone crisp, "why are you out here? You're needed inside." "I need a moment," Duke insisted, positioning himself as a shield between her and Lily. "I was just talking to a friend." "A friend?" She scoffed, her eyes narrowing. "I trust you haven't forgotten your responsibilities, not tonight of all nights. Our guests are in a different part of the fair, and the gala is your time to shine." "I'm not interested in shining for anyone but myself," he shot back, his voice firm. The disbelief crashed over her features. "What do you mean by that?" But before he could respond, Lily stepped forward, her voice surprising even herself. "It's not just about him, Lady Thompson. Duke deserves freedom. He deserves to choose who he wants to be with." Duke felt a warm rush of pride at her words. They hung in the air, defiant and delicate, like glimmers of stars breaking through the clouds. But his mother was not easily swayed. "Is this what you've been reduced to, Duke? This girl?" She sneered, glancing at Lily with disdain. "You are a Thompson, a name tied to legacy and respect. Don't throw it all away on love." Duke interrupted, fire blazing in his eyes. "On what could be real, honest, and happy? You think I would be content with the life you crafted for me? One drowned in obligation, surrounded by people who only want to use me?" That struck a chord with Lady Thompson, her facade faltering for a moment. But it quickly hardened again, the emotion wiped from her face. "You don't know what you're saying, my boy. You think this infatuation will stand the test of time? It's naive." Naive. The word echoed in Duke's mind, fraying his patience. "Maybe it is, but it's mine," he countered, stepping closer to Lily, his fingers entwining with hers, drawing strength from her warmth. The connection felt electric, a steady heartbeat amidst the chaos around them. As Duke's gaze flicked between his mother and Lily, the world around him dropped into a quiet pause. How many times had he allowed her to dictate his choices? How many times had he hidden behind her expectations? He was done. "Lily is not a mistake," he declared. "She sees me for who I am beneath the title. She has dreams and depth. This isn't a childish whim, it's real, and I refuse to let anyone take that away from me." Lady Thompson's face twisted in a mixture of anger and something deeper, fear maybe. The realization that her son was slipping from her grasp sent ripples of desperation through her voice. "You're making a grave error. You'll regret this, Duke. You have a duty." "No," he replied firmly, squeezing Lily's hand tighter, as if to solidify his choice. "I'm choosing my own path, and I want Lily beside me. If you can't accept that, then you need to reconsider how you see me." Silence settled uncomfortably between them. Duke held his breath. Lily glanced up at him, uncertainty flickering behind her eyes. The carnival around them felt distorted, the laughter and music suddenly shadows of a world untouched by their reality. They were caught in a whirlpool of family obligations and love, both swirling dangerously close together. And just as Duke thought they were breaking free, his mother took one last, desperate shot. "You think what you have is love? You may find it's nothing but a fleeting fancy. I'll not stand by and watch my son ruin his life." Duke's heart sank, but he remained steadfast. "I'd rather risk everything for a chance at real love than settle for a life of pretense." As his mother turned to leave, the frantic beat of Duke's heart echoed louder than the carnival's calls. It was a moment of undeniable truth and the precipice of change. Yet, the stakes felt higher than ever before. What would they lose if Lady Thompson took her wrath further? Duke looked back at Lily. Her eyes were wide, emotions colliding within. Would she be willing to join him in this rebellion against her own doubts? Before he could ask, the air shifted again, heavy with unspoken promise and danger. And just like that, he knew their next chapter was about to unfold. But with the shadow of his mother looming, would their love prevail, or would it shatter under the weight of legacy? Duke took a deep breath, his heart racing in the tense silence. He turned to Lily, searching her face for reassurance. Would she follow him into the unknown? He was ready to leap, but he needed her by his side. "Lily," he said softly, his voice barely above a whisper, "are you with me?" His fingers tightened around hers, a lifeline in a turbulent sea. Her eyes shimmered with uncertainty, but underneath the trepidation, he saw a flicker of determination. "I have never been more sure of anything," she replied, her voice steady. There it was, the spark he needed. But just as relief washed over him, he noticed the shadows darkening the fairgrounds. The bright lights of the carnival dimmed, a metaphor for the tension that crackled like electricity in the air. Duke's mother had not simply retreated, she was plotting, and he could feel it in his bones. "Let us get out of here," Duke urged. He led Lily away from the laughter and gaiety, their footsteps echoing down empty paths illuminated by fading lights. The world of obligations and expectations was behind them, but uncertainty loomed ahead. Would they find a safe haven, or would the shadows of their reality catch up? Lily glanced over her shoulder, a flash of instinctive worry flickering in her eyes. "What if she tries to come after us?" Duke paused, taking her hand in both of his. "We can face her together. I won't let her suffocate what we have." His words hung in the cool night air, laden with the weight of his conviction. But inside, uncertainty gnawed at him. He was stepping into uncharted territory, battling not just for his heart but also for the future he wanted to carve out with Lily. As they made their way to a quieter part of the fair, Duke felt a shift. Gone were the cacophony and chaos, it was just him and her, the world slowly fading away. A makeshift gazebo, covered in twinkling fairy lights, provided a small sanctuary. They ducked inside, the moment wrapping around them like a warm blanket. "Look at us," Lily said, laughing lightly. "Hiding in a gazebo like lovesick teenagers." Duke couldn't help but smile back, his heart lightening for a brief second. But the reality of their situation pressed down again. "We can't forget what we just faced. I can't let her tear us apart." Lily took a deep breath, her expression shifting from playful to serious. "And we won't." "But what's your plan? We can't just run away, right?" Duke raked a hand through his hair, frustration mounting. "What can I do? Talk to her again? I'd love to think she'll see reason, but she is so stubborn." Lily filled in, a small smirk breaking through. He chuckled. "That's one way to put it. But she doesn't understand love, not the way we do. It's just a game to her." "But it's real to us," Lily insisted, her gaze piercing through his uncertainty. "We have to show her that." Duke nodded, inspired by her resolve. "You're right. We'll have to stand our ground together." Just then, a figure appeared at the entrance of the gazebo, silhouetted against the glowing lights. Lady Thompson. The tension snapped back to life, and the air thickened with anticipation. Duke's mind raced. This was at the moment they had to confront the storm brewing. "Duke," she said, voice imbued with trepidation and authority. "We need to talk." Duke met Lily's eyes, and the fear slipped away. They were in this together. And as they faced the impending confrontation, he could feel the strength of their bond solidifying, but deeper challenges lay ahead. Would love be enough to withstand the force of a mother's wrath, or would their fight for happiness bring even more turmoil? He took a step forward, ready to take a stand. "Then let us talk." Duke moved closer to Lily, their shoulders brushing as he stepped protectively between her and his mother. The light from the fairy lights danced on Lady Thompson's expression, a mixture of concern and indignation. "What are you doing here, mother?" Duke demanded, the heat rising in his cheeks. "Duke, this isn't what you think," she began, her voice calm yet dripping with buried tension. "Not what I think. It's clear you've been trying to control my life since I was born," he shot back, each syllable laced with the weight of years filled with obligation. I only want what's best for you, Lady Thompson said, eyes narrowing. You don't understand the implications of your choices. You're playing with fire. Lily let go of Duke's hand, stepping forward. Actually, we're the ones choosing our path. And it's not just a whim. We enough. Lady Thompson interjected, her voice cold like the winter wind. You don't know what kind of world you're stepping into. It's not just about you two. There's prestige, reputation, family. You'll ruin us with this reckless pursuit. Duke felt a pang at his mother's words, the familiar chokehold of her expectations settling on his chest like a weight. But his gaze turned to Lily, who stood unwavering, and he bolstered his resolve. Maybe it's time for some things to change. I refuse to play by rules that stifle my happiness. Your happiness? Lady Thompson scoffed, arms crossed. You think with your heart instead of your head. Love isn't all you need, it doesn't pay the bills or secure a future. Maybe you're right, Lily replied, her voice calm but fierce. But what kind of future are you offering if it means losing who we are? Our love isn't a game, it's real, and we are real. Duke's heart swelled. It was as if she had stripped away his mother's armor with her piercing honesty, and in that moment, he could see Lady Thompson falter. The fortress of control began to crack. Lady Thompson started, her voice softer, revealing a hint of vulnerability. I only want to protect you from heartbreak. But I will break if you force me to live a life that isn't mine, he said, straining to keep the anguish from his voice. The words were simple, yet they encapsulated everything: his rebellion, his love for Lily, the tangled complexity of family expectations. Silence descended in the gazebo, wrapping around them like the fairy lights shimmering above. The air was thick, charged with the raw emotions swirling between them. I want you to find happiness, Lady Thompson said finally. But I also want you to understand the cost of your choices. Duke took a breath, each word a leap into the unknown. Then help me understand. But you need to start by accepting Lily. She's not a threat to me, she's what I've been missing. Lady Thompson looked stunned, her expression shifting from anger to something he couldn't quite decipher. Maybe she hesitated, searching for words. Maybe I need time to see. Duke thought that perhaps, just perhaps, a bridge was being built. But with the flicker of hope came the realization that the fight was far from over. As the mood hung heavy with unresolved tension, a distant sound echoed through the night, the soft yet defiant melody from the carnival's fading music. It felt like a reminder of everything they had to lose and gain. I hope that time comes soon, Duke said, his voice firm yet gentle. Because if you can't see her for who she truly is, we'll face whatever comes together. Lily reached for his hand, and their fingers intertwined once more, the connection a beacon of their resolve. But just as a flicker of understanding passed through Lady Thompson's eyes, a crack of thunder rolled above, punctuating the calm of the night. A storm was brewing, both outside and within, and they had yet to face its fury. Let us go, Duke urged, casting a glance toward the entrance. We need to get away from this before it swallows us whole. As they retraced their steps into the chaos of the carnival, uncertainty snaked around Duke's heart. What else awaited them in the shadows, and could their love survive the tempest that was sure to follow? Would the strength of their bond hold them together against the storm, or would it tear them apart at the seams? The carnival buzzed around them, a mixture of laughter and the sounds of carnival games fading into a dull roar. Duke felt the tension still crackling in the air as they moved further away from the gazebo. He couldn't shake the weight of his mother's words. Ruin. Heartbreak. They echoed in his mind, and his heart raced, unsure if they were declarations or threats. Are you okay? Lily's voice brought him back. Her eyes were wide with concern, and he could see the flicker of fear beneath her determined facade. Yeah, I will be. Duke tried to smile, but it felt more like a grimace. The brightness of the carnival felt almost mocking now, the vibrant colors and cheerful faces everywhere serving as a stark contrast to the storm brewing within him. "Maybe we should get out of here," Lily suggested, glancing over her shoulder as if fearing Lady Thompson might appear again. Duke nodded. "Let us grab some cotton candy and just breathe." They found a stand and ordered their treats, but as Duke turned to hand Lily her fluffy pink cone, a flash of lightning lit up the sky, followed by a crack of thunder that shook the ground. The carnival lights flickered, and for a moment, the joyous atmosphere dimmed. "Wow, that was close," he said, trying to mask the unease creeping up his spine. Lily looked uneasy too, a frown knitting her brows. The laughter around them began to fade as families hurriedly packed up picnic baskets, their fun times cut short by the impending storm. Lily started, her voice trembling. "What if your mom doesn't come around? What if she never accepts us?" Duke felt the ache in his chest deepen. "I don't know, but I can't let that stop us." He took her hand, squeezing it tightly. "We'll figure it out together." Together. The word hung in the air, a fragile promise amidst the chaos. As they stood under the colors swirling between the temporary booths, the storm was brewing within him just as much as above. "Look at that." Lily pointed to a nearby booth where a couple was laughing, trying to win a giant stuffed bear at a ring toss. They missed every time, and their shared amusement made Duke smile for the first time since the confrontation. He wanted moments like that, light and laughter. "Come on," Duke said, tugging her toward the booth. "Let us give it a try." They stepped up, and Duke's eyes shone with determination. The ring toss was not easy, but with each ring that landed on the posts, he felt a spark of joy building within him. "Nice!" Lily cheered as he tossed another ring, and when it landed perfectly, the carny behind the booth put a giant bear in their hands. Duke could see Lily's eyes light up with glee, momentarily casting aside the weight of the world, but as the gift was handed over, there was a resounding clap of thunder, deeper and louder than before. The joyous laughter was drowned out by the roar of the storm arriving. Rain began to pour in sheets. The moment of joy was swallowed whole, the air thickening with dread as people rushed for cover. "We need to go," Duke yelled above the noise. Lily nodded, her expression shifting from excitement to panic as they darted through the crowd, trying to find shelter. The rush of water splattered around them, the carnival's brightness fading like a mirage washed away by reality. Duke pulled Lily closer, feeling the warmth of her hand slip from his grasp in the throng. "Lily!" he shouted, the panic clawing at his throat. He turned, searching frantically through the chaos to seek her out. Just as he spotted her, a figure stepped into view, the sharp silhouette of his mother, standing at the edge of the tense shadows, watching them with an inscrutable expression. Duke's heart raced. Would he choose the safety of his family's expectations, or the raw storm of love and rebellion that Lily represented? As the rain fell harder and the carnival bore the brunt of the tempest, Duke realized the true storm was just beginning. Would he stand by while life washed Lily away, or would he fight to keep her by his side, no matter the cost? The rain fell in relentless sheets, pooling at Duke's feet as he squinted against the downpour. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest like a war drum, drowning out the frantic world around him. He lunged forward, pushing through the surge of people desperately seeking refuge. Each moment felt like a lifetime, and the sight of his mother sent icy fingers of doubt spiraling through his mind. "Lily!" His voice broke through the chaos, strained and full of fear. He pushed past the throngs of carnival-goers who huddled beneath awnings and tents, scanning the panicked crowd for her familiar face. Finally, he spotted her. She stood near a food stall, her brow furrowed as she struggled to keep the enormous stuffed bear dry. The sight of her still holding that silly prize with a resolute spirit brought a warmth to Duke's heart. But the sight of his mother lurking on the edge of the soaked atmosphere darkened everything. "Duke!" Lily's eyes brightened amidst the gray, and she dashed towards him, her hair clinging to her face. He wrapped his arms around her, pulling her close. The warmth of her body eased the chill wrapping around him like the storm itself. Did you see her? He hissed, looking back over his shoulder. My mom, she's here. What? Her voice was half lost in the noise of the rain. We need to get out of here. No, we can't leave, Duke said fiercely, determination flushing his cheeks. Not without confronting her. We need to show her we're real. That we're together. Lily hesitated, her expression shifting from panic to uncertainty. And what if she says no? What if she already did? He barked, frustration bubbling over. But I'm done running from her. I'm not letting her choice dictate my life anymore. That got to her. Duke could see it in the way her brows knitted tightly together before she nodded. Okay, then let us do this. Together, they moved back toward the gazebo, the heart of the chaos where the storm was raging both outside and within Duke's mind. With every step, he felt the weight of the world pressing against him, but he held on to Lily's hand like a lifeline. As they approached, his mother remained cloaked in shadow, almost ominous in the thick rain. She stared at them, her expression unreadable, a wall of authority and expectation. Duke's heart raced. He took a breath, steeling himself. Mom! He called out, struggling to make his voice rise above the storm. As she stepped forward, the light from the carnival flickered against her face, revealing a myriad of emotions flashing through her eyes. Duke, she replied, her tone clipped and harsh like the sound of thunder, you shouldn't be here. I know what you think, he pressed, the words spilling forth, but I love Lily. She's not a mistake, and she's not ruining anything. He felt the tension between them thicken, hard and sharp like jagged rocks. His mother opened her mouth, but the roar of the storm drowned her out, turning every word into a faint echo. No matter what you do, you can't erase how I feel. Duke shouted, his voice trembling with everything that hung in the balance. I'm choosing her. Silence blanketed them, the rain a steady rhythm punctuating the charged moment. Duke felt his heart beat loudly, almost deafening. This was the moment. In that silence, he caught a glimpse of Lily's face. Her eyes were wide, filled with hope and fear. Would they stand together like this, facing down the storm? Suddenly, she squeezed his hand tighter, and he felt bolstered by her presence. He wasn't alone. Not anymore. Will you even listen? Duke finally asked, his voice strained yet resolute. But just before Lady Thompson could respond, a flash of lightning illuminated the sky, and with it came a ring of thunder that echoed like a warning. In that single moment of chaos, everything shifted. What are we going to do? Lily whispered, glancing back up at him. The weight of the world hung in the air, but all he could think was, whatever happened next, they would face it together or their love would become a quiet storm of its own. As they waited for his mother's response, Duke knew. Nothing would ever be the same again. Would her heart soften, or would they be swept away into the downpour of family expectations? The silence stretched on, heavy with tension as Duke's heartbeat echoed in his ears. The flickering carnival lights cast a surreal glow around them, a world both bright and distant. He studied his mother's face, searching for a crack in her steely exterior. Duke Lady Thompson finally started, her voice barely a whisper against the backdrop of rain, but strong enough that it held gravity. He could see a glimmer of uncertainty in her eyes, but it vanished just as quickly, replaced by resolve. You don't understand what you're inviting with this. I do, Duke interjected, his voice firm. He took a step closer, emboldened by the support of Lily, who stood at his side, sending him a silent message that resonated deep within him. This isn't some whim, Mom. I love her. This is life-changing for both of us. Isn't that worth something? Her brows shot up, incredulity written all over her face. You think love conquers all? She asked sharply, her tone a mix of skepticism and disbelief. You think this fairy tale will shield you from the real world? Duke felt the sting of her words, but he refused to back down. I thought that's what love was supposed to do. You taught me to believe in it. To fight for it. The raw emotion spilled from him, desperation marking each syllable. She took a step back, her expression hardening again. I wasn't prepared to have you cling to something I can't even believe in myself. You think life is just a carnival? It's messier than that, Duke. This won't end well. A bolt of lightning flashed again, illuminating his mother's face for a fleeting moment. In that instant, he saw her fear, the cracks formed by years of protecting him from hurt. But it mixed with something else, perhaps a flicker of recognition, a reminder of her own long-lost hopes. I'm scared, too, Duke admitted, his voice softer now. Scared of losing you and scared of letting you down. But I won't give up on us. Not her. Not me. We're fighting for this, Mom. He turned, meeting Lily's eyes, and all the profound promises they had made to each other flooded back. Late-night talks, dreams spun beneath the stars, the warmth of shared hopes. This wasn't just teenage rebellion, it was a commitment, a bond forged from pain and joy alike. The rain pounded around them, wrapping Duke in a cold embrace, yet the warmth of his determination surged within. Please, he pleaded, genuinely yearning for her approval. A palpable silence fell, punctuated only by the relentless drumming of water against the ground. Lady Thompson's face twisted in thought, weighing the love she had for her son against the shackles of her fears. The moment stretched out in slow motion. Duke could feel hope threading through the icy grip of anxiety. Would she see the truth in their love? But outside forces rarely let such moments remain unbroken. A sharp crack of thunder erupted, drowning out the intricate dance of emotions swirling between them. Lady Thompson could only shake her head slowly, a frown deepening, as if fighting a rising tide within her heart. This is all too much, she murmured, taking a step back, distance echoing her words. No! Duke shouted, panic flooding his voice as she began to retreat. Mom, don't walk away. But her figure faded into the shadows, the storm swallowing her presence until there was nothing left but the sound of rain. Duke turned to Lily, confusion and fear warring in his gut. What do we do now? For a moment, she said nothing, her eyes filled with both resilience and shared sorrow. We keep moving forward, together, she finally said, her voice steady. As they stepped closer, hand in hand, the weight of uncertainty hung in the air. They had battled one storm, but could they endure the trials ahead? Would they be strong enough to transcend family expectations and social pressure? The rain continued, relentless and heavy, as they faced their new reality, an uncertain future filled with choices that tugged at their hearts. But deep down, Duke knew this was just the beginning. Would their love prevail, or would the shadows of doubt loom larger than his dreams? Duke and Lily stood in the fading glow of the carnival lights, drenched but determined. The air smelled of damp earth and sweet popcorn, a stark contrast to the heaviness that lay between them. The colorful rides loomed in the background, colorful representations of joy, yet all Duke could feel was the weight of his mother's disapproval stirring like a tempest within. Do you really think she'll come around? Lily asked, breaking the silence, her voice steady despite the uncertainty hanging in the air. Duke squeezed her hand tighter. I don't know. But I can't lose my mom and I won't lose you. The two words felt like lifelines. Each step felt monumental as they navigated the wet ground, trying to find shelter from the ringing echoes of laughter and music that seemed so distant now. To the rest of the world, the carnival was alive and vibrant. To them, it felt like a ghost town. What if she doesn't understand? Lily said, her voice quieter now, the weight of Duke's fight settling over her. What if she never accepts us? Then we'll make her see, Duke declared, the determination rising in him like the strength of the storm. This is about us, Lily. Not about what she thinks or what anyone else thinks. He turned to face her, his eyes burning with fierce conviction. I'll fight this. For you. For us. They found a quiet nook beside a towering Ferris wheel, its cars glowing against the dark sky. Here, they could hear each other's hearts beating, a quick thrum of possibility tangled with anxiety. Duke brushed a wet strand of hair behind Lily's ear, his fingers lingering for a moment longer than necessary. "Whatever happens, I promise we'll figure it out," he whispered, as if the words could weave a protective shield around them. "Together," she replied, a hint of a smile breaking through her earlier worry, but the moment felt fragile, like a bubble waiting to burst. Just then, the carnival's lights dimmed, and a faint silence fell over the fairgrounds. An eerie calm wrapped around them, and Duke could feel the tension in the air shift, as if the universe was preparing for the next turn in their journey. Suddenly, a figure broke through the shadows: his father. The lines of stress etched deeply into his face made Duke's heart drop. "Duke." "Lily," he started, his voice gruff yet burdened. The sight of him looming against the flickering lights brought a wave of both relief and dread. "What are you doing here?" Duke asked, his guard instinctively going up. "Are you here to take me home?" "And no." His father's voice trembled, a reflection of their shared fears. "I just want to talk." Beneath the surface, Duke could feel the churn of conflicting emotions. His father had always been the calm in the storm, but now he seemed lost in his own tempest. Duke glanced at Lily, gauging her readiness for whatever came next. "Let us hear him out," she said, her voice low but solid, giving him the courage he needed. "Fine. Talk," Duke replied sharply, trying to keep his own emotions at bay. His father took a breath, the weight of unspoken words hovering between them. "I know your mother may have reacted out of fear, but there's something you shouldn't ignore." Duke felt the walls of his resolve begin to tremble. Something deeper loomed in the words about to come. Would it change everything? What is it? As his father's words began to weave through the tension, undercurrents of truth and revelation stirred around them. The air crackled with unsaid things, and Duke's heart raced as he caught sight of the final ride, a swirling maze of colors and lights. Would this new direction lead them deeper into chaos or closer to understanding? And as the figure of his father loomed closer, Duke felt the weight of the world shift. What was he about to uncover? Duke's heart thumped as his father began to speak. "Duke, you've got to understand your mother loves you. But she's also trapped in her own fears about losing you to a life she can't control." The words felt heavy, sinking into the air between them like rain soaking through fabric. "Control?" Duke echoed, confusion cracking his voice. "She's controlling me. All my life, I've been living for her ideals, and now I know," his father interrupted, his voice strained. "I've seen it too, and I think she's terrified of how your choices might shake the foundations of everything she's built." Lily stepped closer, her presence grounding. She squeezed Duke's hand just as the wind picked up, rustling through the leaves of the nearby trees. "Duke," his father continued, "this love you share with Lily? It's rare. Don't let anyone define it for you, even your mother. The fear of change can stifle so many things, but it doesn't have to ruin you. Love is worth fighting for." Duke found his voice again, steadier now. "But it feels like fighting against her, like fighting against my own family." "That's because it is," his father replied, meeting Duke's gaze with fierce intensity. "But look around. What would you rather have? A life of perfect expectations or one filled with a few bumps if it meant true happiness?" Duke inhaled deeply, the aroma of fried dough and rain-soaked earth mingling around him, sparking something in his chest. He turned to Lily, whose eyes held the same flame of determination. "I don't want to lose my family," he said, voice low and trembling. "But I can't sacrifice my heart either." "You don't have to choose," his father replied gently, stepping a little closer, the shadows of doubt in his own eyes reflecting Duke's turmoil. "You can forge a path between both. Every family faces challenges. If this is worth it, they may come around." Duke swallowed, newfound courage mingling with concern. "But what if they don't? What if she tears us apart?" "Then you keep loving fiercely," his father said firmly. "You find strength in each other. That's the antidote to fear. You need to believe in your love, just as I believe in you." The wind howled around them, shaking the fairgrounds and tossing strands of Duke's hair about. But in the storm's wake, there was clarity. "You're right," Duke said, a bright fire igniting within him. "Lily deserves my fight, and I deserve to navigate my life on my own terms." His father nodded, a mix of relief and pride washing over him. "Remember, love is resilience. It grows stronger in turbulence." Duke looked at Lily, and as he searched her gaze, he saw the flicker of hope mirrored back. "We can do this," he reassured her, the warmth of their shared dream seeping through the uncertainty. He could face anything if she stood beside him. Just then, the sound of thunder broke again, rumbling loudly as if signaling their path forward. But amidst the chaos, something shifted. Lanterns flickered as if rejoicing, twinkling in the uncertain night, a reflection of the bond forming between them all. "I'll talk to your mother," his father said, stepping back as Duke stepped closer to Lily, looking out at the carnival. "I'll help. I promise to remind her of what truly matters. Just don't lose your way. Stay true to each other." Duke stood taller as uncertainty still danced around them, but determination rooted deep in his heart. With a nod from his father, Duke turned back to Lily. She smiled softly, the light returning to her eyes. "Together?" she asked, uncertainty lingering but hope sparkling beneath the surface. "Always," he said, feeling a magnetic pull between them, the air humming with possibility. As they turned to venture back into the midst of the carnival, soaked but always holding on to each other, Duke whispered, "No matter the storm, I choose you. I choose us." And with that, the storm became a mere backdrop to their love story, a reminder of the trials they would face but also a testament to their strength. They stepped boldly toward the colorful revelry around them, aware of a battle still ahead, yet emboldened by the conviction that they could weather it all together. It was a beginning, a promise carved from the darkest parts of the evening, shining brightly into the unknown future. Duke pulled Lily closer, the world swirling in colorful chaos. A clearing storm above hinted at new beginnings, and under the falling rain, together, they felt unstoppable. You need to subscribe now to not miss our next inspiring stories that touch your heart. This is the moment to show your support for our channel by leaving a like. Every click feeds the algorithm and helps us keep bringing you these amazing journeys. Comment below and let us know how you felt about this ending. Your voice matters. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, let's spread the love.